The Process. Relearning Who You Really Are. By Ronald G. Sherman. In deep gratitude I say thank you to all those that have crossed my path and shared their stories with me. I thank my family again, number 12, for their patience as I have spent many hours in front of the computer. I say thank you to all those that have come before me. I live in a country which allows me to write my thoughts down without the consequences of being censored or harmed. I am grateful to God for the inspiration and unconditional love. Introduction. The idea for this book started around Christmas. The holiday of Christmas, it appears to have gotten lost. What is the reason for the season, dear God? Just returned from last-minute shopping. The shelves show signs of being ravaged. I think it is going to be record sales season. 5. That will be good for the economic recovery, but wait just a minute, was that your reason for the season? To help the economy get back on its feet? Dear God, I think not. With all the hullabaloo and how commercialized the season has become, we tend to forget the why for the season. The songs are nice. The gifts are nice, family getting together is nice, but the underlying bottom line reason is to celebrate the birth of a very special gift you sent to your children some 2,000 years ago. 6. The world has not been the same since Yeshua came to this planet, that gentle, loving, forgiving carpenter who witnessed the hatred, evil, angry, vengeance of man against man, forged ahead with direction and purpose that in his short visit on this planet revolutionized man's thinking. That young man has influenced everyone on this planet, since his arrival. The thing I find so consistent is man's fear that this gift will be taken away, and therefore man must hoard the words and only reveal them to a few. If a biochemist discovers a formula for a medicine that will cure dementia, does it make a difference whether he is white or black, Jew or Christian, and Muslim or atheist? 7. I think not, because who cares as long as the medicine works? So to even begin thinking that your God, Mr. Christian, is better than my God, Mr. Muslim, or you all have it wrong. It is the Jewish God who is the true God. We, your children, are bickering on whose God it is, completely missing the whole point. There is only one God, and that is for all. It is not limited to anyone in particular, regardless of how one studies or how one honors you. But the words they tell me should not be changed, and yet it will be attempted over and over. You must accept the words the way they are written. Word language and how one comprehends them is one of your remarkable creations. 8. But keep in mind that if I see a particular phrase that I interpret in my 13th year, then I go back to the exact passage in my 60th year, and my interpretation is different, which gives me a different understanding of that passage. The Jewish agenda on how to live a life with God is very similar to the Christian agenda and to the Catholics who claim to be the first followers of Yeshua. Wrong. It was the Jewish people who saw in Yeshua the gift from God. But the Jewish authorities saw a threat to their control and followed a course of annihilation for this beautiful person. 9. So God, just because one was not brought up in the Christian agenda, Yeshua is for all mankind and not just a select few. His words ring strong and clear. I may not say the exact words that you say, but the spirit of Yeshua is embedded in me, as is it embedded in everyone. One does not have to resist nor think they are giving up all that has been handed down through the ages. It takes a whole lot of self-confidence and a raised sense of good to realize the underlying messages. 10. Yeshua was burdened with the total knowledge of God's plan, and hearing mankind's cry for salvation. So dear God, we celebrate the birth of Yeshua and the beginning of us, your children, the gift of your total unconditional love for us through your special gift Yeshua ben Messiach. Thank you, and thank you. 11. The Process. The question that has been on my mind for several years is, how did Yeshua teach the disciples how to duplicate what he had demonstrated to the world as a possibility, no, as a reality? To the point that they dispersed to the four corners of the earth and spread the good news gospel and replicated what Yeshua had accomplished. It is my opinion that a teaching process had occurred, and that process is not a secret to humanity but very much alive and waiting to be opened. 12. Just like a aberrant gene that lays dormant in a person until a set of specific circumstances are present. Now this aberrant gene expresses itself as a disease process and upsets the homeostasis balance of that individual. The outcome is illness, suffering or death. Is this what God had intended for his children? I think not. Then why is this process so dominant and so real? In my writings, and ideas, thoughts and viewpoints have come into my consciousness and I have put them down on paper. 13. I along with the millions of other writers have done so since the earliest writings have been discovered. The clues and hints to this process lies within these words waiting to be awakened in each individual, if one chooses. The following are some of those hints that I think are part of the answers. Look at the beginning of it all, and God said let there be light and there was light. It all starts with a thought. Words give meaning to that thought but are not necessarily the only way one is aware of thought. 14. Imagination is a very strong component utilizing not only the spoken word but also symbols. Song, music, is the language of heaven and love is its source of power. It is also my view that our existence lies within the consciousness of God. In terms that our primitive brain can begin to comprehend, there are three realms to it. 1. The physical realm, 2. The emotional realm and 3. The spiritual realm. The physical realm is very real to all of us. 15. Our consciousness is very much aware of it through the billions of cells that are constantly feeding information to our brain. Break a leg and you are very much aware of pain, it is very real. The emotional realm is also very clear to our consciousness. Just remember when you encountered your first love. You couldn't think of anyone or anything else. Or remember when you were first exposed to the death of a loved one. These events produce very strong feelings in all of us. 16. Then there is the spiritual realm. This realm is not as clear nor experienced with the same understanding and clarity as the previous two. Mankind has made an attempt to understand it through the 2,000 or so religions that have been recorded. It seems to me that what has resulted from these different religions is more of a separation and elitist attitude. My belief is the true one and yours is not. With the same attitude I will kill you under the blessing from my God. 17. Just look and listen and you will see that mankind has advanced technologically but as a species working in harmony, we are failing miserably. Man is still killing man for some reason. Mankind is taking this planet down the toilet bowl. Our arrogance has created pollution of our home and our minds. Our reality is getting to the point where we are taking God out of everything. 18. Well, mankind, how are you doing? The interesting point here is that this realm is where we all came from and where we all will return. The agendas of all these religions have become more important than the simple idea that your God is my God and we are part of the same family, mankind/humanity. We have turned over our gift from God to others and we have believed their, pardon my use of a very common expression, bull tea. That gift is free will. 19. If you truly believe that you were created by God or whatever name you choose, then very simply act like it. As a child of God you have been endowed with the attributes of God, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscience. I am not saying you are God but the characteristics are what makes you up. There are laws of nature that exist within the physical and emotional realms. But in the spiritual realm there are no need for dichotomies of differences, for example, love/hate, up/down, light/darkness, night/day. Good/bad. There is total harmony and your imagination rules. 20. Nothing is impossible and all is possible. This spiritual realm is within each of us so deeply buried amongst emotional misconceptions like fear, doubt, uncertainty, arrogance, jealousy, anger, distrust, etc. In my first book Faith, Confidence and Belief I explore a formula that is one of many that have been recorded. This formula in my opinion fits into the overall process without judging any other viewpoint as wrong. So where are we on this reopening of the process? 21. A. It all starts with a thought. B. You are very clear with this thought, there are no doubts or any other distractions that will interfere with it. You understand and feel the presence of God within every cell of your body. You vibrate at a frequency that is growing in clarity and intensity. A frequency that is not dependent upon anyone or anything other than your personal relationship with God. Your eyes and ears may hear different words, but you are not swayed by them. You come to your own conclusions based on your free will. 22. As a student within this awakening, you digest the words that have been written/spoken and you come to your own conclusions. Listen, observe, digest the words. Your body will take from it what it needs at any given time of your life. 1. FCB/EXA equals our faith, confidence and belief divided by enthusiasm multiplied by action equals results. 2. The law of attraction, thoughts that are so focused on good feelings. Using visualizations in a process, with gratitude and action taken will give you those results. 3. Prayer using whatever belief system you believe in. 23. 4. Be still and know that I am that I am, God is God. Imagination, possibilities. 5. Humor, an ability that in the face of danger you can laugh right in its face. A clear understanding of all the tools that are available to you, a child of God, a clear purpose full of confidence utilizing an action plan, with inevitable outcomes. It will happen because you say so. Now let us open this program and, as the commercial says, be all that you can be. 24. Exercise 1. Hold true to the notion that there are always possibilities. All three realms are in constant motion. There is always movement. The direction you take is your free will. Even if you choose to do nothing or go nowhere, you will still be in motion. In the physical realm, once you take that first breath of air, you have set in motion your life's journey. The course of that journey could be influenced by you or someone else. The gift of free will was given to you, and if used or not used, your physiology will proceed accordingly. 25. Cells will be created and cells will die. You can influence that sequence of events by following a balanced diet in both food and thought. At any time in your life you can easily decide to make a course correction. Simply change your reality, emotional realm, and the physical realm will follow with a course correction. Change your physical realm, get in shape, lose weight, and your emotional realm will follow with a course correction. 26. Now enhance the spiritual realm in both its acceptance and being the first and last realms, the physical and emotional realms in between, and everything will follow with a course correction. But how do I enhance the spiritual realm? For one thing, it has never been closed, and the appearance of its non-existence has been an illusion created from one of the other realms or even both of them. Yes, you have been lying to yourself. The spiritual realm is who you really are. It is the direct connection, the personal relationship between you and God. It is your innate life force that makes all other realms come alive. 27. And even though you may not have given any credit to its existence, it is the reason for you being alive. I recommend at this point that you stop reading any more and put this book down and digest the information for a day or so. If this cannot be done, then just rest for a while before continuing. One very important action of the spiritual realm is your imagination and your sense of seeing all through the eyes of a child. Now for just a moment close your eyes and let your mind just wander aimlessly. Can you do it? Is it easy or hard for you? Let go for just a brief moment. 28. Try imagining that you are sitting in a movie theater and there is this blank screen in front of you. Now create your movie with no restrictions. Let your imagination play freely on the screen. Not as easy as you thought it would be. That is my point. Life has given you a false sense of reality. Can you remember a time in your life when you just played and created the game as you went along? Time stood still and the focus was on playing the game. Now try again and let your imagination flow freely. 29. But I did what you suggested and I still have my disease. How long will it take? I don't have an answer to that question, but I will tell you a historical fact. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the electric light bulb, did several experiments before he came up with the correct combination. How many experiments do you guess he did before he succeeded? 30. Exercise 2. No shadow of a doubt. Get up early one morning and watch the sunrise. This action has been going on for billions of years and will probably go on for another billion years. Are you sure of that? I would safely say that the sun will rise in the east tomorrow. Am I sure of that? Yes, I am sure of that. So sure that it is a given. Now think of what you just said, so sure it is a given. An absolute truth, no doubt in any aspect of my consciousness. Every cell in my body agrees that the sun will rise in the east tomorrow. 31. Now what does that feel like to know with absolute certainty that the sun will rise in the east? Exercise 2 restores that absolute feeling of just knowing without any doubt in your mind that it will occur. Hold on to that feeling and digest its contents into your immediate consciousness. There just isn't any doubt in your mind. You have pure clarity with this event. Now take another idea and apply that clarity to it. Start off with an easy event. If you are in fairly good health, try this: I will wake up tomorrow. 32. If you are not in good health, then a glimmer of doubt may enter your thoughts. Now try a thought that relies on your faith without any empirical proof. There is a God. Now if you have chosen not to believe this, then skip this section. Apply that feeling with the sun rising in the east to this current thought. There is no doubt in my mind that something greater than me is at the root of this whole thing called life, universe, eternity and all that there is. 33. You may call it a different name than God, but most certainly to me there is a very real entity that has created this whole thing. There is no doubt whatsoever in my consciousness that is how I see it. We are energy and driven creature, and energy is not destroyed but changed from one source to another. Where did the first energy come from? When expanding one's awareness, we begin to see how limited our mind is when discussing the universe, infinity and creation. The clarity is there for me. I just know that God is God and the creator of it all. Now let us move to a thought that stirs up energy. 34. God is a creator. We are created in the image of God. What does that mean to you? And if you truly believe that you are created in the image of God, then you must have some characteristics of God within you. For me, some of those characteristics are omnipotent, omniscience and omnipresence. In other words, everywhere, everything, all-knowing. Anything and everything is within the consciousness of God. I am that I am the beginning and I am the end, the Alpha and the Omega. 35. Our 2,000 or so religions have made attempts to explain this in a terminology that our limited minds can comprehend. Through me you see the Father, Yeshua said so eloquently some 2011 years ago. God is not for just the educated elitists or one particular belief system, be it Judeo-Christian, Islam, Buddhists or even atheist. In fact, whether you follow any particular belief system is irrelevant. God is the life force for your existence regardless of what you believe or not. Now the journey is a unique, diverse adventure that for most people is a free will choice. 36. Now open that program of complete clarity with no doubt and complete certainty. In my opinion, that sense of clarity was present when Jesus, Yeshua, said to those with illnesses, rise up and be well, healed. I would imagine that as the children of Israel were walking through the parted seas, that experience alone would have been enough a proof for them that God is very real. Do you rely solely on just your 5 senses in you deciding that something is true or not? Of course not. Just go to Las Vegas and view one of the many illusionist magician shows and your senses will tell you that the plane, lion, person, all disappeared. 37. There are so many unknowns in this universe that are in existence way before mankind invented the telescope and observed them. Billions of events have occurred way before I was born, and billions of events are waiting to occur in the future whether I am here or not. We leave our imprints on this canvas of life, and that is a certainty for me. Getting back to the process that in my opinion was implemented by Yeshua in teaching the disciples was that there is absolute certainty, no doubt whatsoever, that the ability to heal as Yeshua did, can be done by the disciples, and according to Scripture they did. 38. Apply that to a concern you have. Is it possible to make a change? Yes. You have the program already installed within you. The how to open it is the challenge of a lifetime. So I ask you, who are you really? 39. Exercise 3. Who you really are. Take a blank piece of paper and write a brief narrative about you. Describe yourself with no constraints. Tell me about yourself. This exercise is not as easy as it seems to be. Some people can write a book so limited to a brief couple of paragraphs. In reality it is an ongoing saga. Remember a few pages back I asked if you had an idea how many experiments Thomas Edison did before he came up with the correct combination to make that light bulb. 40. Over 10,500 experiments. How long would you stay with something failing on each experiment? How many times would you keep going to a dry well expecting water but only to find dirt? Maybe 5 or 10 times, but 10,500 times is a man with a mission. He told reporters, I was running out of things that could go wrong. How much time and effort are you willing to give to an idea, or action plan in order to see the results? But I still hurt. When will it go away? I remember a song written by Garth Brooks called Thank God for Unanswered Prayers. 41. What appears not to be answered may very well be in our best interests the correct path to have taken at the time, proving as we look back that it was a godsend. 42. Exercise 4. Unconditional love. Have you ever owned a dog/cat? All your pet ever wanted was to give you affection without any hidden agendas. Pure giving for the sole purpose of just giving. I would venture to surmise that Yeshua gave unconditional love to the disciples. His instructions were the language of heaven, pure unconditional love for no other reason than the sharing of a basic common gift from God. 43. The love for his children and the free will love his children give to their Father the Almighty Creator. We are the children of God, and with the deepest unconditional reverence we say with purest thought, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. With that love we relearn who we really are. We are part of a greater thought than our minds can comprehend. 44. Our essence is the consciousness of God. We are empowered by God to witness the magnificence of the creations that started with a single thought from God. Under that realm the disciples relearned who they really are, and their teacher Yeshua gave the tools unconditionally. Not to one single person but to the world. We are God's children standing in the shadow of this thought. We are the children of God made in the image of God. Now is the time to act like it. In summary, just do it, but. 45. The words sound exciting and inspiring, but I still have the disease and it is affecting my life. I have done the exercises and followed the sequence of events, yet nothing is happening. I'm beginning to have my doubts that this really works. The above is a legitimate response. Results are what you are looking for. Our prayers or requests to God are usually relating to financial woes, physical problems, emotional problems, spiritual problems. When everything is going great, the problems usually are not there and our prayers take on a different tone. 46. But for the most part we are asking for something we don't have or need. For you to have faith in something, do you need empirical proof that it exists? The children of Israel crossed the open seas, and yet the scriptures tell us that they still had doubt that God is God. I would say that if the ocean opened up, that would be enough a proof for me. Is it necessary to prove these miracles occurred for you to believe in God? 47. As I have previously said, go to Las Vegas and attend one of the great magician shows. You will see with your very own eyes people, cars, animals disappear right in front of you. Your five senses are telling you that has occurred, but your mind is telling you this is just a trick. If the magician wants to, he can tell us how he did it. What is truth to you? What do you take on faith and faith alone? To this day many people of the world deny the Holocaust and the heinous crimes that were done to people. Eyewitnesses have corroborated the stories, and the pictures. 48. Yet people of this world deny it ever happened. So what is going on? Getting back to my disease, I still have it. Still having one's inflictions doesn't mean this process doesn't work. When Germany was destroyed in the rebuilding of the cities did not occur immediately. Now tour Germany and see the results of creation. 2 cities in Japan were destroyed by an atomic bomb. Now look at those cities. I go into a patient's room and there lies an elderly person crying and quite lonely. 49. This person has been essentially bedbound for 4 months. Yet in talking with this person I found out that this person really wants to be able to get out of bed and get stronger. Well, we follow criteria regarding putting people on program for rehabilitation. And the criteria points to not putting this person on program. Let us put on those magical glasses through the eyes of a child. We now look past the book cover and turn the pages of the book. Most of the organs are working fine. The muscular system is weak but doable. 50. The patient has a desire to improve, so the emotional realm is inspired. The physical realm has a lot of working systems that are just weak but workable. I decide to pick up the patient and work with them. I hold an image in my brain of this individual walking and getting stronger. I am confident in my abilities to help, so without any further doubt I talk with the patient and get on the same page. The inspiration/desire, motivation/action plan are all ready to go to work. In 2 months this patient returned to walking and was discharged from the facility. 51. Our current brain connectivity usage is around 12%. That leaves 88% available to learn and function. That leaves a potential for improvement around 88%. As you practice this process it becomes easier and easier. The disciples followed the process, they saw with their own eyes the actions achieved. There was no doubt in their minds what was being taught to them. 52. These uneducated men whose skills were fishing set out to the 4 corners of this planet and duplicated what was taught to them. Is it possible for us to learn the process? Yes. Do you have to see someone do the process first before you believe it? No. Do you believe unconditional love is possible? Yes. Do you have no doubt that the process works? Yes. Do you believe that words are powerful? Yes. Do you have the ability to preserve her in a world of doubting people? Yes. 53. Do you believe that we are created in God's image? Yes. Regardless what your 5 senses tell you, can you still believe it is possible? Yes. Hold on to those truths for you. What the mind can conceive and believe it will achieve. So what you are implying here is all one has to do is think it, believe it, and it will come to fruition. No, no and no, that is not what I'm saying. Let us get some basic common approaches and review them. A. It all started with a thought. B. Words are powerful tools. 54. Not the only tools but a powerful one nonetheless. C. Many words spoken with clarity are power words. For example, doubtless. Let the pressure begin, I can deal with it. Insight, direction, free will, imagination, patience, confidence, are powerful action words that when digested are capable, if allowed, of making changes in one's life. 55. as powerful as anyone can be, you humble respect to our Creator. The Creator of every thought and everything that exists, from the most importance to the least importance. From the largest object to the smallest one, from the simplistic to the complex are all within God's consciousness. The way I describe it is I am that I am, and without a single doubt in my mind, I say it with conviction and passion. God is all that is. My name is Ronald G. and I am a child of God. I have been given a brain of over 8 billion nerve centers. Opportunity is everywhere. I have eyes, but do I see? 56. I have ears, but do I hear? And I have a mouth, how do I use that? Is my mouth in a constant stage of diarrhea? Do I hear, or am I constantly jabbering away? Am I just and fair with my dealings with other people? Am I a kind person, or do I get them before they get me? Do I laugh or just take everything seriously? Do I live life to its fullest? Do I use the gift of creation in all aspects of my life? 57. Do I just ponder the enormity of it all, and be still and with utter reverence bow my head to our God, and with humility give unconditional love to God? Yeshua, with complete love in his heart for all of God's children, said with utter conviction, through me you see the Father. The hints are everywhere. There are no limits to the infinity other than you believing there are. Nothing is impossible. My imagination can think it and I can create it. As soon as it is created materialistic or impressionable, I want to share it with others. 58. As the plaque in the Grand Canyon says, take nothing from here except your memories. What a blessing to know that we are part of this magnificent entity. We reside in the consciousness of God and we can communicate on so many levels. Free one's imagination to fly like the birds on the wings of angels. By the grace of God go I. But I still have the pain along with the disease. This is where one needs patience and confidence in the Creator's ability to know what is best for each of God's creations. It is not up to your mind but God's mind. 59. Yes, you do have free will, and your choices to date have led you to the predicament you are currently in. You have asked God for help, and if you sincerely meant it, owned. God does know every thought you think of. Then let it go and let God's influence do what is best for you. But here is where the confusion puts a stop to the request. Your faith, confidence and belief wavers, you doubt, fear sets in, and the creative process stops with those negative thoughts. The action of doubt is very good at stopping the creative process right in its track. 60. The gift of free will is always honored, and nothing overpowers that free will unless you give it up to someone or something else. So the pain and disease process continues. Another stopper of the creative process is lack of patience. You want the results immediately. You want it in your time, and that is not how it works. When you ask, pray, and through free will you get out of the way and let God create. The results are in God's time, not yours. A beautiful song sung by Garth Brooks called Thank God for Prayers Not Answered tells a very real scenario of how in one's life you have requested something from God and it appeared not to be answered. 61. Then several years later you reflect upon that request and a sudden insight comes to your consciousness. Thank God that prayer was not answered, because I would have never achieved this or that. Only God can see the whole picture, past, present and future. And when you become still and know that God is God, and the miracle will reveal itself. As you practice the art of letting go, you begin to open an old program deep within your consciousness. 62. Your faith, confidence and belief is restored with a strong calmness of just knowing that God is in charge, and your sense of connection to God is re-established. It was never severed, but your awareness of it was not a strong connection. Doubt, fear, anger, frustration have run freely within your emotional realm. So how have you been doing with your journey to date? But you remembered who you really are and you acted accordingly. With a very quiet thought you bow your head and say, thank you God for being God and incorporating me into your master plan. Your creative thoughts start flowing with the force of the mightiest river. 63. Your imagination is leading the creation of the scene. You are its director but God is the producer. 64. To become actors if. I remembered several years ago when I was starting out in private practice. I had taken many extra courses on how to build your practice. One phrase that has always stood out was to become actors if. What is your first impression when you hear this? My first impression was fake it until you make it. Even though you may be a starving student in your imagination, make it up as if you have already achieved it. That is where a very good imagination comes into play. 65. The problem here is our imagination is knocked down by reality. To dream/imagine is okay, but let us get real here. I am so sorry, but your idea will never get off the ground, it just isn't possible. I'm sorry, but all the tests indicate you will never walk again. Your grades are not good enough to get in. You are too small to play football. It seems that between the dreamer and the realist, the negative aspect of I can't, it's not possible appears to be the majority's first reaction. Thank God our visionaries didn't read the memo. 66. Why? Because it is possible, and yes, you can do it. In all my books the underlying theme is the only thing impossible is the im in front of possible. Your first and foremost thoughts have to truly believe that it is possible. One of the many ways to initiate this is to remember who you really are. So many bits of information have conditioned your thoughts to really believe the nonsense that is going on in our world right now. 67. First and foremost, your reality is made up of your thoughts and how much empowerment you give them. If you believe it to be a truth, then you believe it. Millions of people who have journeyed this planet have been led around by others. So many have been bogged down by traditions, stories, and outright lies that have only perpetuated their own agendas. God is not for a select few. God is not for only the believers. God is God whether you believe it or not. We are all part of the same species called human beings. We all have a brain that has a capacity to learn no matter where you are. 68. Our famous documents that were written by the founding fathers of the United States says in large letters, we the people, not me or you but we. We the people of this beautiful planet hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men/women are created equal in the eyes of God. What Yeshua did was magnificent. He claimed it outright. Through me you see the Father. Yeshua was made up of the same organic material that you and me are made up of. 69. He set a living example of that very statement, and the disciples saw it, believed it, and opened up the programs within themselves. They went forth to do what the Master did. So you have an infliction, what are you going to do about it? Yes, seek out the best medical professional, surround yourself with positive, caring, loving people that just know possibilities are possible. Also include those people that are the visionaries, dreamers who see life through the eyes of a child and understand what Yeshua meant when he boldly said, through me you see the Father. 70. God is very much alive in every aspect of our limited brain capacity and really alive beyond that. We are God's children endowed with the attributes of God. To become actors if. Don't let anyone tell you differently, there is no doubt. You just know that you are created in the image of God. Now look at the Father through the eyes of Yeshua and your imagination will open up a movie beyond your wildest imagination. Be still and know that God is our God and we are God's children. Claim your birthright with the confidence of knowing who you really are. 71. Put down all those negative thoughts of labeling someone as this or that. We are the people of Earth endowed with the attributes of our Creator within every single cell in every single person that is currently walking this planet or will ever walk this planet. Digest these words and I recommend you put this book down and go to sleep. 72. When will the changes come? All right, you have my attention. I find it difficult to not be skeptical. In fact, being a little skeptical doesn't mean I am not a believer in the process. There is that scientific side of me that says if you follow the sequence of this process of relearning who you really are, then a certain response or a change of some sort should be made to your awareness. Something should be happening, and not just the same old series of events. 73. It stands to my reasoning that consistency is a given and the results are there not just in your time but in God's time. But why does God need time? Being omnipresent, time just doesn't exist because it is the now that is the true element of measurement. In fact, how can a simple limited thoughtful human being even have the ability to comprehend an existence where time just doesn't exist? Good question. What does it mean in God's time? One idea that comes to my mind is, if I was to be exposed to a set of experiences way beyond my ability to understand them. 74. Let alone compartmentalize the data into information that I can use, then my brain would be overloaded. From a self-protection defensive program it would shut down. I remember when NASA invited an elderly man, well over 100 years old, to view the Apollo rocket take off for the moon. Several days he watched the uncovering events of man walking on the moon. His brain could not comprehend and accept that at that very moment man was walking on the moon. His reply was, "It is all a Hollywood production." 75. For many of us on this planet we need to be brought along this road of ascension gently and at a pace where we can comprehend the data without overload. If given the entire program, I believe we would just shut down. So maybe when the expression in God's time is really saying that God knows what He is doing and for the safety of your comprehension, the data will be released in a way not to overload you but to bring you along at a pace that you will understood. 76. We have been fed so much garbage information over the centuries that we believe it to be true. Breaking away from centuries of traditions and belief systems that have served the people in power is very difficult. For one thing, the guilt that arises can stop you in your tracks. Your initial thought may be abandoning your ancestors and disrespecting the elders. Can you begin to imagine the thoughts going through Martin Luther when he went against the Catholic Church with ideas different than the current agenda being professed as the truth? 77. Yet that very brave man went through with it and a whole new system was presented to humanity. The Protestant agenda was born. We know it today as Christianity. Sub-agendas are Baptists, Methodists, Lutherans, Pentecostals, Seventh-day Adventists, Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, Unity and so on. This reformism is not limited to Christianity. In Judaism a reform movement must have sent shockwaves to the Orthodox, Conservatives, Hasidim, and so on. Even on a secular realm you have the Democrats, right-wing, left-wing, liberal, conservative and so on. 78. Compartmentalizing people into labels that fit your agenda seems to be one of the garbage ideas that has been going around for years. The need to label someone is a vast disservice to the unlimited potential of expanding/ascending your awakening awareness to whom you really are. The children of Israel, after personally experiencing God's infinite power as they walked through the parted seas, received food from heaven and water from a stone, still doubted and rebelled against Moses as he ascended the mountain to receive the tablets written by the hand of God. 79. How could they even have one single thought of doubt when those events were personally experienced by the masses? Wouldn't you think walking through an ocean whose waters are separated would do it for me? Got my attention? Don't need any more examples, got the picture? Yet the scriptures tell us otherwise. So even though they experienced the miracles, their minds could not comprehend the enormous complexity of the present situation. The basic brain just could not handle it. 80. So when the disciples were witnessing the miracles happening right in front of them, not until all doubt was freely removed did the innate programs which were already embedded in each of their DNAs open. And their ascension into a realm of possibilities where unconditional love in an environment of unlimited possibilities is the norm surrounded their very existence. As your imagination awakens you to who you really are, then and not a second sooner will you have learned what Yeshua was teaching. 81. Through me you see the Father. And they traveled to all corners of earth spreading the gospel, the good news, that we are the children of the one and only one God. So here we are in modern times, and you have prayed to God to help you with a disease that is robbing your life. In the meantime, this disease is releasing chemicals that are causing a lot of pain. In summary, you are suffering. Now go to the beginning of the book and reread the words. 82. Digest them and through your free will choose a different tact for your boat. Ocean of life, make a course correction to a smoother sea. It all starts with a thought. Seek out the teacher and they will appear. The possibilities are endless with no limitations other than the ones you self-impose upon yourself. Simply don't read the memos of life. Use your brain and think out your own conclusions. Now maybe in God's time really means in your time. When you are ready, the data will be released. If it's going to be, it's up to me. Wake up, you really are the child of God with the attributes of God embedded within you. 83. Claim your birthright, you are that child of God, now go forth and act like it. Through the eyes of Yeshua you can see the Father. Yes, it is true, that is who we are. We are very much part of this greater existence. We reside within the consciousness of the thoughts of God. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Change is an ongoing ascension of your awakening and claiming your birthright. 84. You have been given 2 ears, now listen, you have been given 2 eyes, now see, and you have been given 1 mouth, shut it and be still and know that God has never left you, and we, as insignificant as we appear to be, are so important to God. Can you feel the unconditional love throughout your body? Now allow that unconditional love to pervade through the disease within. And awaken the child of God and simply act like it. Just do it. 85. Examples. Through the eyes of a child is an expression I often use. First ask yourself, what does this mean to you? Write down some of your thoughts about this expression. A good way to grasp this expression is go to your local mall and find the play area for the children. Sit down and just observe. Watch how they play and interact with each other. The key word here is play. Next, close your eyes and listen to all the sounds going on. What you hear is laughter. 86. Life is a way of beating you down with the so-called adult issues of paying the bills, health issues, family conflicts, politics, retirement, work issues, current events, the economy, crime, etc. When do you have any time to simply play and laugh without any worry? The responsibilities are enormous. Who has time to simply play and laugh? That is my point. Living life has closed the doors on those eyes of a child. Where did that child go? He/she did not die, although it appears that way. That child and all its experiences are within you. Probably hidden away deep in your memory, yet still very much alive. 87. So as you sit and close your eyes listening to the children play, remember when you were a child and go join those children right now. But I have to go and pick up this or that, etc. I believe 5 minutes won't cause too much damage. Stop the inner chatter and just for 5 minutes be the child and go play. That is a good start as to understanding through the eyes of a child. Now for the next example, imagine you are holding a magical pair of glasses. These glasses, when put on your face, views the world as if you are a child again. Now close your eyes and go through the motion of physically putting the glasses on your face. 88. Now for just a few moments, use your imagination, open your eyes. The key word here is imagination. That word is also hidden deep in your memory banks. Well, I have a secret to tell you. You have the power to open it up right now regardless of your situation or age. Yes, you can. Created in the image of God. Now what does that mean to you? Don't answer right away, just repeat the phrase and let the words digest within. May I suggest you write your thoughts down? Let us break down the expression into its component parts. 1. Created, definition. 89. From Webster's Unabridged Dictionary, the act of causing to exist, give rise to, something created by the imagination, to originate, to bring into existence. 2. Image, to portray, reflect, to mirror, to picture in the mind. To give rise and portray a reflection, a mirror reflection of a representation within one's imagination. What better of an example to mirror but the Creator? Here on the physical realm the Creator has set up a dichotomy with everything, good/bad, up/down, love/hate, right/wrong, male/female, truth/lies. Do you get the point that anything, everything, nothing or anything one can think of, is all within the realm of God? 90. The diversity is staggering. And mankind is struggling on a day-to-day basis to find a path that is true for that individual. The interesting point is that truth is an ongoing capacity grabber that can change daily, yearly or not at all. Some basic truths have been written about for decades. The truth lies somewhere between your version and my version. The laws of nature in the physical realm have basic truths. If you jump up you will fall to the ground. Much of what you hold to be the truth may have some basis, and yet your individual interpretation may vary ever so slightly. It can get pretty confusing. 91. So not to overload our brain, let us just mention some basic truths. Gravity is a constant force on Earth. Another basic truth is my brain has potential beyond what it appears to be. Or I can accept the fact that what my eyes see and ears hear is real and I cannot do anything about it. Those VIPs have more clout/power than myself. I am not that important. I don't have any formal education, I didn't graduate from high school, my job is not interesting, etc. Most people work very hard to live the American dream. Is it necessary for that age group to suffer? They built America to a world-class leader. 92. They accept the simple fact that there are possibilities and a whole array of ideas are waiting to be invented. We have within our brain an imagination program that can literally think of anything. In other words, there are no limitations to what you can think of. The possibilities are endless and just waiting for you to think of them. Many people who have been seasoned by life will tell you that this is impossible or that is impossible. They may never let go of a bad adventure from their past that they choose to keep bringing up. This particular adventure keeps hurting you as you appear to be stuck in a state of negativity and despair. 93. Why would one want to even stay close to that kind of problematic negativity? Misery likes company, as they say. Well, maybe yes or maybe no. I may choose to hang around those types of individuals, whom are stuck in the downwardly spiraling waste of good life energy. Why? Who wants to stay in that kind of garbage? A whole lot of people. Yes, learn from the past and make every attempt to learn and not repeat the same old stuff. 94. So here is the assignment: look at the news, watch the news shows and just take in all the negativity man has to offer. How are we doing as a species? We are certainly following the Cain killed Abel scenario. When is it going to stop? It will stop when you decide to stop it. When the past keeps influencing the present, then we are condemned to keep repeating the same old, same old. There is nothing wrong with honoring the past traditions, but to keep allowing the past events to keep influencing the present seems nothing more than setting oneself up for just repeating the past. 95. The Founding Fathers of the United States, whom wrote the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, and Bill of Rights, were genius works of art. They knew that the future may bring a new viewpoint. That is where these brilliant people wrote the amendments. That is where they set up a government with branches of itself watching each other as to not allow any one branch to dominate. Yet in our spiritual relationship with the other realms we keep past events as a basis of present circumstances. So I ask you, how are we doing? 96. Has mankind improved peace, compassion, love thy neighbor ideas that have been brought forth some 2,000 years ago? We have taken so many animals to extinction, polluted our planet like it's a toilet bowl, learned to kill each other in a more technological sophisticated way. There is such hatred and anger throughout this planet. Greed, jealousy, fear, anger, distrust are prevalent. God is being removed from our lives and relocated to the church on Sundays. Have we evolved to a higher level of consciousness, or just a sophisticated way of perpetuating the same old? 97. It is too easy to just say it is already written in the Holy Scriptures and the end times are coming. If a book is left on a shelf and never opened, then the ideas will never be brought forth. These ideas, no matter how great, will remain silent in the closed book. God is very much alive, but if you, through free will, choose not to have God in your life, then an emptiness, void, will exist. You will now rely on mankind's personification of all that is in existence. Speculation on what may now occur, will come from man's very limited brain capacity. Are you ready for that guesswork? They say the end times are upon us. Are you ready for man's view on that subject? 98. So much is placed upon the agenda of the belief system that it doesn't matter whether you believe or not that God is running the show. It is the agenda, traditions, rules, a particular way on how to worship, that appears to be the most important aspect of the belief. If you say the right words regardless of how you act is important. If you dare to think outside of the agenda, you are labeled a heretic and your fate is sealed in misery and pain. And this has been handed down for centuries. They say don't change a word of the Holy Scriptures, yet the words have gone through several revisions. 99. 1. Ancient Aramaic. 2. Translated into the Greek Septuagint. 3. Translated into the King James Version. 4. Revised into the New American Version. 5. The Mormon Version, Jehovah's Witness Version, the Unity Version, etc. etc. It appears that whenever man puts his hands into something, the level of error increases. So what does the truth say to you? If you feel in your heart that what has been said to you from a religious perspective is not right for you and you question it, you will be labeled a non-believer and off with your head. Don't disagree with their agenda. I find that interesting since from the beginning. 100. Yeshua questioned the leaders of Judaism and their agenda. Centuries later, a Catholic priest named Martin Luther challenged the Church and formed the Protestant movement, and modern Christianity was born. Yet we are told do not change the Word of God. What is going on here? Obviously there are several changes that suit their agenda and justify its rightful ownership of the truth. Whatever happens to free will, a gift from God to the children of the Creator. How dare man take away that gift or even think he can? 101. In modern times we have our churches, synagogues, mosques, and any place where people gather, congregation, to envelop themselves in a sense of spiritual food for thought. We humans are a social being and human contact is imperative for our stability. However, as soon as someone begins to tell another person how they should believe and accept this agenda, then the gift of free will is compromised. It is one thing to give examples of why you should choose this agenda over another, but to implement your will on me is not acceptable. 102. In fact, I believe God gave us free will to make that very decision and choose to walk with God and talk with God on a personal basis. Yes, I do accept God as my Savior and the very reason I am alive. Yes, I do have a personal relationship with God that is unique to me. God is my life and I strive to follow the example of how to do the walk and the talk and evolve/ascend to a higher level of awareness. My mind cannot fathom the immense complexity of the consciousness of God, and yet I am so unconditionally loved by God with no ties or hidden agendas for that unconditional love. 103. I am so loved by God unconditionally and ask nothing in return. I am this minute cellular creature on a small planet in the vastness of God's consciousness of infinity. Yet I feel so important to God and so cared for that at times I don't feel worthy of God's gifts. So what does God want of me? I have read in the Holy Scriptures what God wants of me. Micah 6:8 that I act justly, Be fair in dealings with others. 2. Hold love, mercy and kindness in my heart as I encounter others. 3. Meet others' needs. 4. Walk humbly with God. 104. Example. You need, it is recommended, to do the talk and the walk. No, not really. Your life will go on whether you do or you don't. However, in choosing to do so would invite a whole different set of experiences. As previously mentioned, what does this expression mean to you? Do the talk and the walk. Write it down. I observe so many enlightened people speak words that are so inspiring and motivating, yet they speak out of both sides of their mouth. Their actions are not at the same level as their spoken words. I realize we are not a perfect species, but at least be consistent and honor, respect other people's beliefs. 105. I may completely disagree with your beliefs, but I deeply respect your beliefs. And maybe we can have a calm discussion of our beliefs and come to a compromise or mutual respect for each other's point of views. So here is the assignment. Engage someone you know whom happens to have a different view and calmly discuss a compromise. This doesn't mean you have to change your belief system or give up a way of life. I believe it means through the eyes of a child I am interested in your 7 interpretations. To receive is wonderful, but to give is absolutely divine. 106. As of today we still have secret groups who believe their way is the only way, and for you to become a member certain rituals must be gone through. I don't think so. This country, USA, was founded on religious freedom. The act of practicing any way you choose without retributions is a founding principle for the USA. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Read the documents and understand with deep reverence to God that our country is a most unique place on this planet. This United States is great because it is made up of the people of the world working in unity with the people. 107. These words are powerful to live by. It should be a requirement that every adult citizen of the USA read the Constitution, Declaration of Independence and Bill of Rights at least once a year to maintain your legal status as a citizen of the United States. God does bless the USA and all the children of the earth. Words are very powerful tools that can be used for good or bad. Now take those words, digest them and formulate thoughts. And as I have previously said, it is your thoughts that make up your reality. Yes, you decide the course of your ship even though it appears that others have control. 108. We are told/ordered to do this or that, so it appears that we have no choices. Wrong. In this country you almost always have choices. Yes, there are rules that govern our society and consequences if not followed, but our government allows for change. Many may not like what you have to say and even attempt to destroy you. You still have free will and choices. Decisions on how your ship will traverse life from now. Just digest the words and see what comes of them. Remember, food for thought and rediscovering who you really are. 109. Certain words and phrases keep repeating themselves. That is truth, free will, do the talk and the walk, I am that I am. Let us look at the word truth. A wise person said to me that the truth lies somewhere between your version and my version. What about someone who lies repeatedly that they actually believe it? In science we follow the scientific principle. We set up experiments to empirically prove right or wrong that something exists or a particular methodology is consistent with its outcomes as being predictable. What was a truth many years ago has now been proven to be incorrect, with the advent of new diagnostic tools. 110. In the physical realm, empirical proof is the basis of a truth. But in the spiritual realm that is not true. Faith in God is not and doesn't fall under the rules of empirically being proven. It is just accepted as a truth for oneself. Yet the existence of us is entirely under the consciousness of God. It sounds like on one hand I am accepting something as a truth if it passes the empirical tests, and with the same breath I am accepting the I am that I am as the reason why we are in existence. 111. Yes and yes to both examples. That is the reason we have the three realms of existence: 1. The physical realm, 2. The emotional realm, and 3. The spiritual realm. And that is who we really are. The three realms exist all together all the time. The communication amongst the three were meant to be in a balance, but from mankind's history and its belief in traditional interpretations, imbalance has been the dominating reality. 112. The physical realm appears to be relegated to science. The emotional realm appears to be relegated to psychosocial interpretations, and the spiritual realm appears to be relegated to Sundays and religions. As I have mentioned before, how is mankind doing with this outline? We have advanced technologically, but have we evolved to a higher level of awareness of who we really are? Just read history, listen to the news, look at our health statistics. Mankind appears to be wanting to take God out of our lives, and radical fundamentalists want to kill everyone who disagrees with their agenda. It appears we have a brain of enormous potential, but we are not using it. 113. We are creators made in the image of the first creator God, whom happens to go by many names. Hints and clues on how to reconnect the three realms are everywhere. A good starting point is to quiet the mouth and listen, observe, laugh, play, sing, and envelop the language of the Creator. Love, compassion, unlimited possibilities, imagination, forgiveness and acceptance. Stop doubting, stop fearing, stop thinking you are alone, stop hating, stop believing the lies that have been running freely in your head, stop killing, and restart the programs as mentioned above. 114. Start from the beginning. Through the eyes of a child, through me you see the Father, and me has never left you. We are the children of the Creator, made in His image. These are the foundations to the process of awakening who we really are. Can you imagine the unlimited possibilities to anything and everything? Now truthfully, is your first response yes or no? 115. The disciples finally answered yes, and off to the corners of the earth to duplicate what Yeshua did and continues to do. Ascension/evolving is an ongoing process, and your free will either keep you from ascending or staying stagnant at the same level mankind has been and is currently at. Now close your eyes and let your imagination fly freely. Possibilities are limitless, and that is a founding truth. There is no separation from the Creator. We are part of the infinity of God's consciousness, another founding truth. To explore this realm, simply just do it. 116. I am a child of God, endowed with the attributes of the Creator. I claim my birthright of imagination with unlimited possibilities. Dear Lord, with total reverence I bow my head in complete respect for who you really are and who I am really. And from the truth of my existence I say to you, God, I love you. 117. Communications. Communicating your thoughts, ideas, and inspired words of wisdom is an art. The skill of effectively doing this activity comes easy to some, and difficult for the rest of us. Not only do you communicate with others but internally as well. Communicating involves not only the spoken word but the unspoken word. Body language, and that sixth sense of intuition are also included in that list. Our three realms, physical, emotional, and spiritual, also communicate with each other. 118. How you do this has been researched, documented and taught by many. Through books, movies, traditions, observing, listening, and the yet to be rediscovered are some of the ways. God is unlimited in the possibilities of how God communicates with us. As we relearn who we really are, I would venture to guess that communication and communicating will open up quite a few more ways of how it is done. When you tell someone that you talk to God, they may look at you in a strange way. Why are you a prophet? No, why are you a special angel or something like that? 119. No, then who do you think you are? My response to that is, do you pray? Do you daydream? Do you participate in life? Do you go to church? Do you read books? Do you ever let your imagination fly freely? Well, then you are communicating. talking to God. It may be, or seems to be a one-way conversation, but not really. So when someone says they talk to God all the time, they are not crazy. God is omnipotent, omniscient and omnipresent. 120. Simply put, everything and anything, the beginning and the end. Therefore every thought we have is already known by God now, past and future. We are in existence by the grace of God. We are in God's consciousness. In fact, our basic brain cannot fathom the immensity of the infinity of God. So the answer is yes, we talk to God every second of our existence. There is no separation, never ever. This chapter is titled Communication. It is that concept that gets confused. If God did not talk with us, we would not be in existence. The communications between us and God is ongoing. 121. It is us that is not listening. God being I am the I am, any way that God chooses to communicate with us is a possibility. Again, yes, I talk to God all the time. What I am learning is how to quiet my thoughts and listen to God's answers. It is my firm belief that as one reconnects the three realms, your eyes open up to much more than the spectrum that science and physiology has defined it to be able to perceive. You begin to see the wonders of God's creation in everything. 122. You literally begin to see life through the eyes of a child. You open the program called imagination. The possibilities are unlimited. Now I propose to you, A, if our home is the spiritual realm, B, when the physical realm is over, C, and your spirit returns home, D, the three realms communicate with each other. Then when someone passes away, and it has been reported that certain people called psychics can communicate with their spirit. Why are they the only ones that can? 123. It is my belief that everyone is psychic and everyone possesses the gift of communications. It is the individual who chooses to or not to. Communications is an unlimited possibility. The psychics may perceive the communication in a verbal way, and you may perceive the communication in an artistic way through an idea, or an inspired thought. 124. When you think of a loved one who has gone home, the trees may sway from a wind that just happens to have presented itself at that very moment you thought about that person. The possibilities are endless. In addition, as you awaken these old programs and you are coming from a space of love, possibilities and imagination, then the words like doubt, fear, anger, jealousy, and greed come to the forefront and stop the process immediately. You cannot force the process. It will be learned from a space in your life of free will, love, compassion, humbleness, kindness and so much more. 125. You will reopen the program of a special connection with God regardless of any particular agenda. You will reopen that unique special personal relationship between you and God. That unique relationship is so special, with everyone having their own personal relationship with God. Diversity unlimited, possibilities unlimited, imagination unlimited, are the norm. The unconditional love that God has for us has not been put away. It is and has been where it is since the dawn of creation. It is so simple where it is located. 126. It is not in outer space, it is not at the bottom of the ocean, it is not at the highest mountain. It is in a place that has so often been overlooked. Go to a mirror and what do you see? An image of you, and that is where God is, within every cell of your body. I do not claim to have an exclusive with God. The words/thoughts for this book are in my mind. I have just sat down and put them on paper. I am a storyteller, scribe, philosopher, and most important to me, a child of God. I put those special glasses on every day. 127. Many people will probably have trouble with this concept. Maybe that is what Yeshua was teaching mankind: through me you see the Father. It appears to me that Yeshua had no doubts, a pure connection between him and God existed. And those people that chose not to see, must feel a loss, a separation of total loneliness must perverse the inner core. or that young adult who decides to commit evil crimes, rape, murder, stealing, and believes that his destiny is one right to hell. He tells himself decade after decade that he is just no good to a point that he believes the lies. 128. It took the children of Israel several decades of wandering to remove those old thoughts taught from one generation to another. It has been perpetuated for so long that they believe that to be the truth. But something unique happens. The deep desire to relearn who and where you came from starts itching away. The desire to feel again, that unique connection with something far greater than you is possible. Your importance to the whole picture is so strong and so real. 129. You cannot help but respect all of God's creations regardless of differences of opinion, looks, education or lot in life. With this reverence for God, your outlook is slightly different. You are not so quick to kill, but to share the good news, gospel. With these new ideas you begin to respect and treat others how you would like to be treated. The emotional realm is beginning to be the narrator. The veil of secrecy is beginning to dissipate. You begin to unravel all the lies that you have been telling yourself to be the truth for you. 130. A brave young man stood up against the church and changed the face of Christianity. His name was Martin Luther. A special person was sent to this planet to set an example for mankind that unlimited possibilities are very true and God is not a figment of someone's imagination but very much alive and well. You can repeat a particular prayer and be an expert at praying that way, but until you not only do the talk, but include the walk, you will keep perpetuating a way of existing that has taken humanity to its present situation. 131. In 1 century humanity has been on the brink of destruction several times. Hatred and dislike is so prevalent. Religious agendas have become more important than the belief and faith in God. Earth has become humanity's toilet bowl. Reverence to God has been relegated to the weekends. Every attempt is being made to take God out of our lives. Like the Pharaoh removing the name Moses from every building. You can try, but the essence of God is in every cell of your body. Your very existence is within the consciousness of God. 132. We are an evolving species to create like our God, and some will choose to move ahead while others will choose to do what has been done since recorded time. The choices are yours to make. It is your birthright and gifts from the Creator. Yes, you are created in the image of God, and those gifts are where mankind would probably not look. Inside of mankind. The mysteries of life, universe and God himself are right inside of man, waiting to be reopened. Through me you see the Father. 133. Yeshua demonstrated that birthright without any doubt and with total authority and total humbleness. He taught the disciples and they went to the 4 corners of earth and duplicated what they were taught. Christianity does not have the monopoly on Yeshua. Yeshua came to earth for all humanity as a living example of the 3 realms working in total harmony, unconditionally giving love, forgiveness, compassion and joy to all. 134. So as you journey the waters of life and you seek out your true meaning, be still and know that God that I am, is not apart from you but part of you. We are the children of God made in God's image, now act like it. 135. Conditioning. We are creatures of habit like the animals are creatures of instinct. The animals need those instincts to survive. We humans use our habits for convenience, free up brain power to work on more complex problems. Where and how do these habits come from? For one thing, we are given programs that help us survive, and these beginning programs set the stage to build onto them more complex skills. Repetitions is one of the key factors in developing a habit onto a basic program. Take for example walking. 136. You have an inherent program for coordination, sequencing of movements, and balance. What follows is a series of repetition and more repetition of the same motion as your brain learns the skill. Then as you continue to practice the skill, it becomes more refined. Some individuals develop a very keen sense of balance, speed and coordination that they become our athletes. Other individuals have special gifts for putting together pieces of a machine, they become our mechanics. Hopefully you can find your particular gift and enhance it. Then the job becomes a labor of love. 137. It is my opinion that every person has a deep program that slowly and quietly tugs at your mind. Who am I, why am I here, and who sent me? We possess an inquisitive program that compels us to be curious about everything and explore who, what, where and when to satisfy our creative nature. Through the millennium, mankind has given that program over to someone else to develop. They have bought into the idea that this is just my lot in life. It is what it is. 138. What a shame they have just shut their brain down, closed their imagination, subjected themselves to being a pinball in a pinball machine, and whatever happens will happen. They choose to close one of the greatest gifts God sends our way. The attribute of being a creator. The tools for this skill are imagination and possibilities. You have over 8 billion brain cells and we are only using about 10% of the connections. That means the 90% is just waiting. Your curiosity and inquisitiveness is in a sleep mode. Well, wake it up. 139. And that is where fear, doubt, negativity comes into play. It is impossible, I can't do that, I'm too old/young. Ask a question. What are you, crazy? Did you see all those diplomas? Yes and yes to the previous question. Yes, ask questions. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. 140. Listening. God gave us 2 ears, 2 eyes and 1 mouth. Which one do you think gets used the most? Which one do you think has gotten us into trouble the most? So many of us speak so quickly that I have coined it diarrhea of the mouth. You are so quick to let all know your views that you use the mouth like a floodgate. The art of listening without quickly responding is a very difficult task. You feel that if you don't say what is on your mind, then you will either forget it or not get your point across. 141. Silence is a powerful tool. The louder one shouts versus the quieter one becomes is an interesting comparison. Beware of the silent one versus the one who brags and doesn't stop talking. Insecurity comes to mind. As one who is confident of themselves doesn't need to tell you how great they are. Their actions speak louder than the words. Doing the walk is sometimes more powerful than doing the talk. And even if you are a person of few words, are the words zipping around your brain? Do you actually listen to what is being said? 142. Do you actually quiet your inner chatter and digest the words being said? Can you control your focus of attention to 1 or 2 thoughts? Remember your first love and being at a dance. Your eyes were so focused on your partner's eyes that all the other people in the room disappeared. Your focus of attention was on one thing and your brain put all its energy to that one thing regardless of any other sensory stimuli, noise, lights, etc. Listen to what is being said. Use your ears to hear. God speaks to us all the time, it is us who is not listening. 143. Listen to your type of music. Focus on a particular aspect, for example the drums. Now focus on just that for a while. Listen to the sounds of nature, and next time you are out in the country listen to the wind. Do I have your attention? Listen to your body. Quiet all the inner chatter and focus on 1 or 2 things. And when you quiet your thoughts, you might hear a different type of a voice speaking. You may even be communicating with God. Close your eyes and surround yourself with an invisible light made of pure unconditional love. It asks nothing from you, just envelop yourself within it. 144. Be still and know that I am, I have not forsaken you, I am right here. You are never ever separated from me. You are part of me. Now through the eyes of a child open your eyes and through me you see the Father. Really listen and really see who you really are. For one thing, a lot more than what is reflected in the mirror. An interesting voyage of one's imagination would be to start at conception of you. When those two cells met and the symphony of creation began. 145. Look who is the conductor. It is our God in a beautiful creative wave of music. Directing in pure unconditional love each part of the symphony, playing its musical notes in a harmonious pattern. And life moves forward with all the parts of you being developed. Keep your focus of imagination on this magnificent performance. Use your ears to hear, your eyes to see and your mouth to speak from a kind, compassionate, humble, forgiving and loving framework. Love thy neighbor as thyself. 146. A good example is your pet that just looks at you with unconditional love. Oh, what a gift to be created in the image of God, to be given life to witness the magnificence of God's creations. We are the children of God, we are creators like God, not destroyers. Let us get back on the pathway of humanity and learn from our elders, our children, from life itself. Now once again look at that image in the mirror. Look past the wrinkles, the imperfections, look at the spirit of the soul. Who really are you? Now imagine you are in the room when Yeshua was teaching the disciples and listen quietly. He is talking to you as well. 147. The process is really not waiting to begin. It is already up and running. It is us who have to make decision to join in. Conclusion. There really is not an end to this story. It is an ongoing adventure of opening up new experiences. To summarize, in my opinion, the process, I will list a few words that I hope bring memories. Faith, no doubt, pure unconditional love, a deep desire to share, patience. 148. Confidence, a belief in knowing that God has never forsaken us. Life, imagination, possibilities, laugh, play through the eyes of a child. We are so much more than what we believe. Be still and know that God is with us. We are the children of God. Through my free will I bow my head in sincere reverence to my God. 149. Thank you, God, for who you are and helping me find out who I really am. With the deepest respect from my heart I say I love you. 150. An endless adventure into the realm of imagination. 151. Zeroth Books by Ronald G. Sherman. 1. Faith, confidence and belief, a formula for life. 2. What is so good about getting older, another way of looking at aging. 3. Why God should not be out of your life. 4. Defending my life and to whom. 5. The three gifts from God. 6. In troubled times, how to apply what we have learned. 7. Sheba is gone, how one person coped with the loss of his best friend, his dog. 8. I woke up today and I am 80 years old. Where did the years go? 152. 9. Dear God, where art thou? It appears you are not listening. 10. When I was just a little boy, a child's adventure into the realm of imagination. 11. Workbook 1, a guide for growth based on the books written by Dr. Ronald G. Sherman.